professional sound.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Adam Carswell, and today I want to talk to you about propaganda. Sorry, I had to do that. It's a song that I really like, and I've just been envisioning myself doing that for this video for the longest time, so I hope you enjoyed that. Anyways, Propaganda by Edward Bernays. Let me tell you a little bit about him. During World War I, he played an integral part, along with Walter Lippmann, of the U.S. Committee on Public Information, a powerful propaganda machine that advertised and sold the war to the American people as the one that would make the world safe for democracy. The marketing strategies for all future wars would be based on this same CPI model. So Edward Bernays is a propaganda specialist, and I'm going to tell you what he has to say about propaganda itself in this book. Propaganda and public relations go very much so hand in hand. The word informed by public relations will be put, but a smoothly functioning society where all of us are guided throughout our lives by a benign elite of rational manipulators. Now, this sounds pretty intense, but let's just go over the word propaganda really quick and where it comes from. Prior to World War I, the word propaganda was little used in English except by certain social activists and close observers of the Vatican. And back then, propaganda tended not to be the negative term that we throw around today. In the corporate world, propaganda has realized that it must use as many of the basic emotions as possible. Politicians use the emotions aroused by words exclusively. So I think of corporate propaganda. Let's say that 7 times fast. Corporate propaganda, I think of Coca-Cola, for example. That's just a complete example. But you know, any Coca-Cola commercial you see, it's tied to emotions, normally of happiness, and that actually goes with many other corporate propaganda plans. Is you buy this, you eat this, you drink this, you use this, and you're just gonna have the happiest life ever. Propaganda. Now politicians, you know, they're basically, you know, just selling themselves when they use propaganda. And so the best way that politicians have seen success using propaganda is using powerful words. You know, you think anyone who's running for office, especially right now, if they just drop the word ISIS or say something about terrorism, that's gonna catch anyone's watching. For the most part, anyone who's watching who cares about politics, that's gonna catch their attention, and then from there they can manipulate their audience. Here is a political example of that. We're going back in time a little bit here. When President Coolidge invited actors for breakfast, he did so because he realized not only that the actors were a group, but that audiences, the large group of people who liked the amusements of these individuals, ought to be aligned with Coolidge as well. And this is something that even before President Coolidge did it had been going on. We've seen it today. Any type of political propaganda is going to involve big time movie stars, actors, singers. We see this type of propaganda stunt pulled time and time again from many of, probably, you know, as far as we can go back, presidential elections. Propaganda stunts with the people who are popular. Be careful who's playing with your mind. The normal school, and by normal school it's just the education system. For the most part, everything I'm talking about right now is going to be focused on the U.S. These tactics, these practices are practiced throughout the entire world, but for the sake of this video, we're talking about the U.S. So the normal school system should provide the training for the educator that their job is twofold. One, as an educational teacher, but two, as an educational propagandist. Because you got to think about it. Who is writing the books? 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 Teachers are teaching what is in the books. in general. That does not go for 100% of the education system, but is something to be very aware of, and I just want to make that clear. This is another topic that the book touches on, and I just want to spitball off of it for a hot second. Teachers as propagandists in America, it's kind of like people don't even really care. And part of the reason for that being is because your average school teacher throughout the entire country, especially K through 12, is not bringing home the bacon that a doctor or a lawyer is. And because of that, the school teacher profession gets basically disrespected for how important of a role those individuals play in our society. And that's intentionally structured to be that way. And so again, this is just to continue to promote awareness for all of us to realize that we are a part of a propagandized system. And anywhere you go in the world is propagandized. Again, it's not a bad word. A better way to look at it is public relations. The media by which special pleaders transmit their messages to the public through propaganda includes all the means by which people today transmit their ideas to one another. There is no means of human communication which may not also be a means of deliberate propaganda. Based on this statement, being a millennial in this society, the first thing I think of is Snapchat. For anyone who's active on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, of course, all the other social media platforms, I'm sure Twitter, maybe it's because I'm just on Snapchat more than any other platform. However, when you pull up your Snap, I remember when Snapchat was just me sending you a picture or a video, and that was it. You pull it up now, it's the news, it's the media, it's propaganda. They've got hundreds of channels. I do my best to just ignore it every single time I get on my app. I want nothing to do with any of that. However, the propaganda is wham bam in our face. And it's still not a bad thing. It's just we need to be aware of our surroundings. We need to be aware of what's going on around us. So that's an example. But again, you know, any form of communication that we use to talk to one another is just as usable as a form of a way to pump propaganda in front of our faces. And here's another great quote from the book. It's an extensive quote, so if I'm not making eye contact with you throughout this entire thing, please forgive me. Here we go. Modern propaganda is a consistent, enduring effort to create or shape events to influence the relations of the public to an enterprise, idea, or group. This practice of creating circumstances and of creating pictures in the minds of millions of persons is very common. Virtually no important undertaking is carried on nowadays without it, whether it's the building of a cathedral, endowing of a university, marketing of a movie picture, floating of a large band, or the electing of a president. Sometimes the effort on the public is created by a professional propagandist, sometimes by an amateur deputed for the job. The important thing is that it's universal and it's continuous. And in its sum total, it is regimenting the public mind every bit as much as an army regiments its bodies of soldiers. So vast are the numbers of minds which can be regimented, and so tenacious are the minds when regimented, that a group at times offers an irresistible pressure before which legislators, editors, and teachers are helpless. Now that's a long quote, but it's very powerful. Please, please pause the video right now and go back and listen to that quote one more time. I'm not done yet, but I want to stress, I like having the screen on behind me. I want to stress how important it is that we continue to grow our awareness of what is going on around us. This is a time where I can talk to you. Maybe I've never even met you before, but you can watch this video and something that I say can spark an idea in your head. This is You know, every year is like, oh, you know, this is the most exciting time ever, this is the most exciting time ever. Why not? I'm just like, yeah, actually, you know what? I think this is the most exciting time ever, and probably in 2020 that will be the most exciting time ever. But as far as what we are capable of doing in changing this world, it all starts with our self-education and our awareness. And this book just opens up so much of that. And I want to make it clear to you as you're watching this that you have the power to break so many people free of the mindset and the traps that we have allowed ourselves to fall into. And that's what this book is doing for me. And I want it to do the same for you. So let me continue here real quick and we're almost done. The final quote. Propaganda will never die out. Intelligent men must realize that propaganda is the modern instrument by which they can fight for productive ends and help bring order out of the chaos. Take notes when you read, because then if you ever go back to a book that you love and don't feel like you have time to read it again, or want to refresh your memory, or don't feel like, for example, for me, I like going back and just watching these videos instead of reading the books again. But you take notes, it just gives you that one more piece of physical memory that helps you grow your brain. I highly recommend going out and buying this book for yourself. It was a great read for me. I think it's a book that can really begin to open the minds of many people out there the more hands we get it into. We want to start a positive propaganda movement. So that's what we're gonna do. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Please, if you enjoyed this video and you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my channel because I will continue to pump out great content just like this. If you're watching on Facebook, please be sure to thumbs up, like this video, leave a comment about what you think, and maybe any recommendations for future books or videos I should do. And make sure you like the page too. You gotta like Untitled, like the Untitled vlog page. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And all you think, say, and do, remember, take it to the next level.